Hi everyone. Before we start, let me introduce to you our smart and beautiful presenters for this presentation. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first presenter, the duty fulfiller, Anna Najwa. Our second presenter, the protector, Nurul Hannani. Our third presenter, the doer, Fatihah.
In Chapter 9, we will discuss about enhanced student motivation to learn. First of all, we need to realize that motivation are not stable like the characteristic of our eye color. If we have black eye color, so it will stay black color. So, motivation is not the same as our characteristic of eye color. If motivation are changeable if motivation are unchangeable like our characteristic of eye color, so the teacher doesn't have to spend a lot of their time to figure out ways for them to increase their student motivation to learn. It is because motivation is always changeable, because some of the student come to school because they want to learn, and some of them are forced to learn, and some of them doesn't even want to learn. So motivation is always changeable, and this topic we will focus on ways to enhance student motivation, and this topic also will focus on reflecting what is realistic and what is appropriate with respect to motivating secondary students. And in this topic also we will examine factors that will increase the motivation of the student. And in this topic also there's variety of motivational strategies that are drawn from the research theory.
Motivation. What is realistic? What is appropriate? The duty of the teachers to ensure the learning is always fun is unrealistic if the students themselves does not even motivated by doing it in the first place. For example, by giving compulsory attendance, required curricula, or standardized tests. When we say about learning, it doesn't have to be fun all the time. Learning is always be engaging, motivating, amazing, and involving. But we, as a student and teacher, will make the learning fun. For example, the teachers may enhance the students' encouragement to learn new things and give them excitement in doing their tasks. Therefore, the task will be more valuable for them when they achieve the result. For this kind of motivation can relate to the intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is an activity that gives an opportunity to learn, explore, and develop the student's potential rather than gain any of the rewards such as money or prizes. By giving this activity that can generate the student's satisfaction, like volunteering or charity work, it can give the sense of progress, and when they see the work is accomplished, they will satisfy with themselves.
An expectancy times value framework, which means it depends on students' expectation of success and value they place on the task. They have two factors work together, which is expectancy times value. If either one missing, there will be no motivation. And there are two major responsibilities with respect to motivation, which is need to ensure that students can perform the task at hand successfully if they expend the effort, to creating assignments that are well suited to students' achievement levels, and helping students to are well suited recognize their ability to perform successfully. Okay, and the second is responsibility of teachers is to help students recognize the value of the academic work at hand. Well, it to enhance the value of class activities to demonstrate students' interest and to communicate the value of the rewards that successful completion or mastery will bring. So next, there have a broad strategies for enhancing motivation to learn, which is a strategy for increasing expectation for success and strategies for increasing perceived value.
We go for the first subtopic is increasing expectation of success. There are 5 points under it and we go through one by one. For the first point is provide opportunity for success. Teacher can modify assignment for different level of students, such as make an open-ended assignment. It is also much better if the teachers give a chances to the students to create their own creativity in doing the task. The students also can easily dealing with their friends in dividing the task of themselves. Secondly, it does not wrong to go back and reteach the material again and again to the student. Let time passes as long as they learn new things and gain more knowledge. It will be worth it. The more you reteach the student, the more they remember and respond positively. Teacher also can give opportunity for success with differentiate instruction, with using 3 levels of students, which are high, middle, and lower. This kind of concept can help the students to work on themselves and be motivated by viewing their friends' method. This also can help the students don't keep going the learning and not just wait for the others. Instead, they can help for their friends at the same time. Very instructional approaches. This approach is more to different strength and level. This approach is based on theory of multi-intelligence that was according to the Howard Gardner's 1993 and 1995. People intend to at least have 8 multi-intelligence such as specials, linguistic, musical, or naturalist. But he personally recommends that the teacher should use the approach from variety of way, not just depending on the multi-intelligence, but use it from the view perspective. The teacher also can give an opportunity for the student to success by involve them with temporary failure. We move to the second point is teach students to set reasonable goals and to assess their own performance. You have to help students to differentiate between learning goals and performance goals. By learning goals, which the students can gain more knowledge and skills. But in contrast, the performance goals can preserve more of their self-perceptions and competence. There are more research found that by focus on mastery goal can give them positive response, such as the relationship between the students and the teacher, self-esteem, and their own competence. The teacher also can help the student to set goals that are reasonable and obtainable to keep their focus in learning goal. This is because there are some of the students that are just focused on the learning in the class just to make them less stupid. Some of them think that anything less than 100 is just a failure, and other than that also can have a mindset that bare passes grade just enough. As a teacher, you need to change the mindset or goals. You can provide them with some handout or entrance test in examining their goals and what they want to achieve in the future. The teacher also may give the rubric details to the students beforehand for the assessment. This allowing them to achieve and aware of the score of the task that they want to get. In doing this, the students can do self-evaluation in deciding what will be the best for them to do and achieve for them to get a good result. For the third point is to help the students recognize the relationship between effort and the outcome. There are some students claim that they didn't do well in their work. They thought that their failures are affected by their ability. Meanwhile, they did not realize that every little achievement is an effort. For example, I am very proud of you that you will still making the effort from the scratch. And now look at you, you made it. The other teacher also recognized your development and getting higher expectation than before. This word can really motivate the students and just appreciate their little effort, because this little effort can give a huge impact for the students one day. Teacher also should help the students to recognize the relationship between cause and effect. In the classroom, there is always one student that will always be really stubborn or overconfident. This type of students has always think that he or she is always right. In this case, I want to give an example about Ali, who doesn't want to study. And as a teacher, you will question him many times, and his excuses is he just lazy, he doesn't want to study because he doesn't have an interest to study. So you as a teacher just let him be for a quiet moment. So after a test or a few days, you will see that his performance drop, and then again you ask him, what will you do now? What we gonna make it with this result in the future? So make him say, I want to change, I want to make a better future for myself. So that will give a definition about cause and effect to the students. So we came to the point number 4 is provide informative feedback. From a student's perspective, it is very annoying to work really hard but then receive no feedback at all. They felt really worthless and such a waste. According to Fisher, 1980, said that academic feedback should be as often as you could. This is because when there are more feedback given, the students can pay more attention in learning. In this case, the teacher can assist the students by give immediately respond and feedback to catch if the students make any error or problem in learning. The teacher also can teach them with self and peer evaluate. Students also need to know how they progress day by day. So, as a teacher, you need to point out their strengths and the weaknesses for them to get more result and better achievement. This kind of activities can give them motivated to improve day by day and to get maintained for what they can achieve in the next level. For the last point for this subtopic is point number 5 is provide special motivational support to discourage students. So basically this point is for students who are with limited ability or learning disability, because there are always people who are work on and learn at different paces. As a teacher, you always need to believe in them, get their trust, and always say that I believe in you, you can do it. As a teacher, you always need to express more concern, cheer them on in any performance, and give care package or tips in the exam. In this way, you always to remind them to get what they want or preparation for them, so that they did not lose or be afraid to get through any of the activities or exam they took. Sadly, there is always teacher that develop ways of communicate low expectations, or as we can say that counterproductive behavior pattern. The teacher always have this kind of thing, which is we call as labeling the students who are with their achievement or with their level, which we always say that if there is to achieve, there is high achiever and low achiever. This kind of behavior always relate with the low achiever. The low achiever is always the one with the students that with bad grades and with the low performance in the classroom. The example in the behavior that the teacher make is demanding less communicate, lack of attention, setting the students far away from the teacher and the other students. This kind of situation is also can relate to the gender bias in the classroom. Hence, this kind of behavior really need to be avoided and need to be prevented so that the students can get more knowledge fairly and they will also can be success together without any bias or any other negative reflections that came from the teacher.
Next strategies is increasing the perceived value of the task, where there have 8 points, and here I will elaborate 5 points only, and others the house will elaborate it. First point is relate lesson to students' own lives. The more you can learn about students' interests, the more you can tailor your lesson to further engage them. Students' performance on these personalized problems was better than on the standard problems, and this will improve performance of students. You can be assured that as adolescents, they are all concerned with issues of identity, connectedness, and power. You as the teachers must make a special effort to relate academic content to reference the students' own culture, well aware of the need to relate academic tasks to youngers' lives. Next, provide opportunities for choice. Research has shown that when students experience a sense of autonomy and self-determination, they are more likely to be intrinsically motivated. In one study, researchers have asked 36 teachers about the type of instructional choices they give to their students. They have 6 main types of choices as a function of content areas and grade levels, which is number 1 is the topics of study, grading materials, method of assessment, either is exam or a final project, activities, social arrangement. Here you can ask the students either they want to be pairs or small groups to do an activities in the classroom. And last but not least, procedural choices. Tell to them when to take the test or assignment were due. So you as a teacher tended to use choice as a motivational strategy rather than reward. Next point is model interest in learning and express enthusiasm for the material. This is to help keep your students interested in learning. It's important that you model an interest in it. You can share with your students about classes you are taking right now, books you are reading, or other ways to get students interested. Research has shown that when teachers model an interest in learning, their students perceive that their classroom is the focus on mastering the content rather than merely earning grades. The fourth points include novelty or variety elements, which means you as a teacher must add some new elements or an innovation in activities in the classroom. For example, we use right now 21st century activities to make the students active and more interest. Okay, so incorporating with the variety of activities not only reinforce students' understanding of the story, but also generate a great deal of enthusiasm. You can also using a PowerPoint, Prezi, or other presentation software rather than simply giving oral reports. The students will be boring. They will obviously proud and excited about their visually striking presentation and more attentive. Next point is provide opportunities for students to respond actively. Work hard to do an activities that can give a memorable and personal to students. So this will help students to remember what they have learned to in the classroom. And You as a teacher can provide the materials to give them a chance to experience a particular subject such as art and science. So you can also ask a question and have a student respond with thumbs up or thumbs down. And either than that, you can use the color cards. If they agree with that, they put up the color card, or not the other color cards. So that will be give the students respond actively.
The next point is allow students to create a finished product. Creating a finished product gives meaning and also purpose to the assignment and increase motivation to learn. It is because in order for them to accomplish the task or finish the product, they need to relearn first what they have been taught. For example, I give my student a task about you need to do an art criticism about this painting. In order for them to accomplish the task that I give them, they need to relearn about art criticism. What are the point in the art criticism that they need to learn in order for them to successfully do the art criticism in that painting. Next is provide opportunities for students to interact with their peers. The interaction among peers in the classroom are normal and essential. It has become part of the learning process. It is the peers interaction will influence to their lifelong and also their learning habits. Motivation and learning enhance if students are allowed to work with their peers. So we can conclude from this point that peers interaction affect their lifelong and also their learning habit. If they have a good interaction with their peers, it will have a good or a positive effect towards their learning habits in class. Intrinsic reward. It is very useful to provide student reward for engaging in the behavior that support learning. For example, we give reward towards students who are participating and paying attention in the class. For example, I give my student candy or pen if they can answer in class. So we give reward for them for participating in class. The use of reward in psychological principle have positive reinforcement, which is meant the use of giving them pens as a reward will increase their motivation to learn. Reward do not increase the perceived value of the behavior or the task, but they link performance of the behavior or successful completion of the task to attractive and desirable consequence. Reward can be divided into three. First is social reward, and second is activities, and third is tangible reward. Social reward. Social reward are verbal and non-verbal indication that we recognize and appreciate student behavior or achievement. This kind of reward are low in cost, which is the teacher doesn't have to put or to spend a lot of their money to give their student reward, and it is readily available, which is the teachers can give this kind of reward anytime, anywhere, and any kind of situation. For example, teacher give a praise that are more specific and sincere. For example, instead of using "you done a good job," the teacher also can be more specific and sincere, like "I see your point, and you have done a great job. You pointed out the point that we need to know." So from that kind of example of reward, the student realize that their teacher know about the effort that they have put in the task that were given by the teachers. Is give activities as a reward to the student. The use of special activities as a reward for good behavior of achievement. For example, we give a night without homework, which is mean at that night they doesn't have to do any homework, or after accomplish a few tasks that were given by the teachers, they can watch a funny video or a movie that were hit at that time. The teacher can determine which activity that should be given by listening carefully to the student request. The teacher can ask, after you accomplish this task, what kind of activities that you want to do. And it is very useful to observe which activity students engage in when they have a free time. In this point, we can conclude that gift activities also have a positive reinforcement to the student motivation, which is after they have put a lot of effort in learning or accomplish the task, they can do some activity that will make them more relaxed and will increase their motivation. Next is tangible reward. Teacher can use this tangible reward or material reward for good behavior. For example, teacher give prizes like chocolate when students have successfully reviewed the factual information for test. This kind of reward very useful for tasks that students found it very boring. For example, the situation is,
Teacher, this is my homework, can you check?
okay, so the teacher will check the homework, and then the teacher found it that students successfully review the factual information that needed. So the teacher will give this chocolate as a reward to the student.
Thank you, teacher.
That kind of situation, that kind of reward will give a positive effect to the student motivation. Rewarding people doing something is inherently pleasurable, but it will decrease their interest in continuing the behavior. Next is, we as a teacher should show that we care about our student as a people and also as a student. For example, for students who feel like unmotivated, who feel like they're gonna fail this subject, we should show our supportive side, our caring side to them. So from that, they will feel like more motivated to continue their study and also feel motivated in that class. So they will feel more comfortable to study, and it will increase their motivation in learning. In chapter 9, we can conclude it has a strong relationship between management and also motivation. Motivating student doesn't happen accidentally, which is mean it has to have a good strategies and also ways that could improve student motivation in learning. The motivational strategies that has been discussed in this chapter, which is chapter 9, are consistent with the current thinking. Some students feel motivated when the teacher show that teacher cares about them. Teacher can show that teacher cares about them by giving reward and other strategies that we have been discussed in this chapter. Motivation have a positive effect towards student learning and also their achievement. Teachers should pay attention about student motivation.
That's all from our smart and beautiful presenters. Don't forget to stay at home and stay safe.